GrowingDeer.tv is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Also by Reconics, Trophy Rock, Gallagher, Muddy Outdoors, Eagle Seed, Nikon, Barnes, Ansman Batteries, and Antler Dirt.
It's November 30th and it's spitting snow very lightly for the first time here at the Proving Grounds this fall. And that's a great sign of things to come. You know, it's been a little bit slow week with the lockdown phase of the rut going on and a lot of acorns still present, but that metabolism rate of deer has got to kick in. They've got to gain food to get that heater going, that big furnace in their body, and we haven't overhunted our food plots, so great hunting yet to come. But let's talk about last week as we prepare for next week.
It's a very frosty morning, November 27th, Saturday. And I feel really good about this morning. I had some friends tell me, my buddies up at Heartland Bow Hunter, that they're seeing a few scrapes open back up and some bucks out cruising. So the timing's right and the observations are right that we should be going out of the lockdown phase of the rut. Bucks been used to having a date every day without a lot of effort. Now they gotta search a little bit, so these 4 or 5 days can be some awesome hunting.
We were in early, the wind is cold, it's going down the valley. We come from up the valley, get to the tree stand, so the deer don't know we're in the world. Get up the tree early, and I predicted that it would be late before we saw deer. And about 9:30, saw a yearling buck come through, hit the trophy rock, and come on in the food plot a little bit. It was still frosty, so he didn't eat much, then scoot on out. Just a little bit later, we saw a huge doe, a magnum doe, and a couple of very large fawns come scooting through right above the food plot, going toward a known bedding area about 100 yards behind that food plot. I did a little aggressive calling, but sure enough, we see a shooter buck come through. Worked the scrape just off a camera, and I did some calling. Now, I was on the edge where to call or not because he was on a mission. He was headed towards that bedding area. And I knew he was going to get out of range or out of sight soon. But when you call and you're in a food plot and deer look out in the food plot and don't see a deer, they know something's up. They're hearing a vocalization, but they don't get that image of the deer standing there to go with it. That's where a decoy would have paid huge dividends. We didn't have our decoy set up. I did some various calling. I did a snort wheeze, and he turned and looked right at us. I really thought he's coming. In fact, I said, Adam, here he comes. Well, I'm ready to draw the 7 back, but he just couldn't find the image. I could see him in the woods searching. He couldn't see anything. Off he goes to the bedding area.
It's about 11. We've had a good morning, no shot, but great encounter. We had a yearling buck come in here, right in front of Reconics camera. Didn't know we're in the world. His face looked kind of odd. I think he'd been whipped. He'd had busted off one antler already, and his face was disproportional. I think it was swollen, but his hair was all puffed up. It was really cold. So he's healthy and looks like he'll do fine. Had a magnum doe come through, man. She had a huge body, a couple of great fawns, and probably a shooter buck. I couldn't identify if it was a hitless buck or not, just because I saw him and I was concentrating on not moving and calling and trying to get him in range, but we were 30 yards off. Pretty quiet, so I think we're gonna bail out of here.
My number one job is not to kill a Boone and Crockett buck. My number one job is to come home at night so I can be there for my wife and children. And one of the things I count on the most to come home is Muddy's new safety tether. It's absolutely simple and wonderful. Come home safely. Check out Muddy's tether.
front when yearling bucks are walking by, because that old buck may smell that yearling buck and associate that grunting with something going on. I don't want to grunt when he's right below me because it may blow him out here. We just need Granddad to come on by.
As these temperatures get colder and we haven't overhunted our food plots, deer are going to stop searching far and wide to find those few remnant acorns or less and go to the more concentrated food source in our food plots. This is where food plots really can pay huge dividends. When deer have to find enough food to feed that furnace and you've got concentrated food in your food plots that's high quality and they haven't been pressured, deer have not been conditioned to avoiding those areas in daylight, can be some fabulous hunting. Man, I can't wait for the weeks ahead. It's gonna be some great hunting, Christmas coming up. It's all good, and I'm really excited that we've had a strategy of not overhunting our food plots, waiting for this late season based on the huge acorn crop we had this year. I hope your strategy is working out and things are looking good at your hunting area. Thanks for watching GrowingDeer.tv.